Welcome and thank you for joining us today.
We're Derps and Burps, the podcast for all gamers, spiritual souls, and creative minds out there.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our podcast. It is your hosts, Steffu
and Julia.
Together we're
Super
Derps
hype,
and Burps.
Julia.
Yeah, super hype, Julia. We still don't have a new intro, but what we have a super hyperactive Julia because I literally 5 minutes ago cracked the fucking monster open and I'm already hyperactive and it's only 11 p.m. a.m.
Yep.
Oh my god. So yeah, anyway, Steffi and me have been hanging out a little bit already this morning. She was actually also at my place after half a year. Finally saw her again yesterday. And we just had a really funny conversation about vaginas looking like roast beef sandwiches. And how Steffi would not like to have a penis. And I said, I would like to have a penis more than a vagina because I think they're prettier, and Steffi disagreed. We can talk about this later. But anyway, today's episode is about the 5 love languages. It is a principle that I believe in that works really well for me, that basically saved my relationship and opened my eyes towards relationships in general. It doesn't matter if it's romantic relationships, friendships, work relationships, whatever it is. It made my life way easier. I think I also told you about that like years ago when I read the book for the first time, right? And so Steffi and me were talking about that. I think it was actually Steffi's idea to make an episode about that, not mine. I think it was Steffi's because Steffi is smart. To also
sometimes
spread the word. You know, you're smarty pants. To also spread the word a little bit and maybe for once spread a little bit of education for our podcast. In between like all the weird fucked up shit that we do. So yeah, we want to talk about the 5 love languages. If you don't know about it, it is short said a way of understanding that there's different ways people experience love and feel loved, and why it can happen that in relationships, again, doesn't matter if it's like romantic ones or within families, friendships, whatever it is, that you sometimes feel unloved and the other person maybe don't understand why that's the case because they feel like they're giving you all the love anyway, but it just doesn't arrive at your point. And I'm going to try to explain this to you, and we're also going to talk a little bit about our experiences. What is our love language? What are the love languages that our partners have, and what did it help, especially me, like I don't know how much it helped Steffi in relationships to also understand other people better. But anywho, before we go into this full interesting topic, as per usual, we're going to update you about what happened in our life for the last week. And yeah, Steffi, what's new?
First of all, I think I closed the tab. I mean, I have the screenshot.
Yeah, the screenshot. It's fine. We have the screenshot.
Okay.
It's all good.
What happened? I finally went home with Max for like after 7 months of not being home because I wasn't home for Christmas after my whole like tooth accident, right? So it's been so long. I didn't drive home for my mom's birthday. So it's been like way too long since I saw my aunt the last time. I saw my dad in between and my mom gladly and my brother because he's coming over every now and then as well. But it was just nice to be home again, even if it was just for 3 days. I saw everyone. I met up with Shaki again after fucking a year, I think, and with
Holy
you.
shit.
Yeah, it's been so long. Like, I never. First of all, sometimes I'm just lazy and I don't wanna. And then the second thing is with the car. Like when we drive home, I always this time the old sound system I had, I brought that to my dad, and we have so much shit. Like I have so much shit to carry all the time, so I want to go by car.
Yeah, of course.
And I always have to ask for the car because Max and I don't own our own car. So it's always like a bit draining to like organize
that's the
stuff.
thing. Like with the way you live and where you live, you don't really need a car right now. So right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been a very long time since I was home last time, and Max was home with me the last time. What else? Easter was nice. We arrived in Corinthia on Friday. Then I met up with Shaki and Brian. We chilled for quite a while, and then I drove to my dad, chilled with my dad. He gave me like a full-on back massage with
Ooh.
the massage gun we gifted him for birthday because I'm so fucking sore, right?
Mm.
That was like heaven. Then I drove back home to my mom. Max was chilling there with Mo and my mom. And then on Saturday we had Easter meal.
Mm-hmm.
In the evening we went clubbing with my mom because she was like, I think it was even a week before we arrived, she was like, "Honey, are we going? Like, there's an Easter clubbing on Saturday. You guys want to go there? Because then I have to reserve the bigger desk, like the bigger table."
Yeah.
And we were like, "Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's go there." Because I know my mom loves house music and everything. So we all went there together. I met up with an old lovely friend of mine as well, Valentina.
Oh yeah, I saw it on
So,
Instagram.
so she came as well. We had a great time together. We had big laughs together. So it was a good time. Really enjoyed it. It was nice to see her again. I haven't seen her in years as well.
Mm.
So that was awesome. And then on Saturday it was just very chill. We had like Easter meal again. And then I drove to dad and my aunt. Finally saw my aunt. We chatted for a while. I was just like chilling, hanging out, having a good time. And then we drove to Julia.
Mm.
Then we started talking about Dungeons and Dragons. Max was
Mm-hmm.
in his area.
Like I said to Steffi earlier, like it was so fucking sweet. Because like I know Max for years now, and we always have been talking like a little bit, but
Yeah.
I think it was like really the first time that I really heard Max like open up and like
Yeah.
overflow and just wanting to share, and it was so sweet because like first of all, I'm really interested in the topic. It
Mhm.
was something that I always wanted to like try, because basically we were talking about doing a one shot in D&D together,
Mhm.
because I never did it. I also told Nathan about it. He said he would also be up
He
to
wants
do
to?
it. Yeah, yeah.
Because Max was wondering in the car, and I said, I'm not sure if Nathan
Yeah, I
like
wasn't
is
sure either.
interested in it.
I
Yeah.
wasn't sure
Okay,
either.
nice.
But Nathan said as well, like he would be up for it, and he said also like he thinks with Sasu it'd be really funny. And
Yeah.
I think that actually I didn't really think about it that much, but like Nathan is also really good in going into characters,
Yeah.
right? So he can like get out of his own like shell a little bit. So Nathan
Yeah.
said he would be up to try it. Like he said he doesn't really know if he would enjoy it, but he would be up for a one shot to try and see if he likes it.
Okay.
So maybe we can do one like the two of us, maybe Nita, Sasu or something like that. Could
Yeah.
ask them if they
That would
want
be
to.
a great group. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Like to start. So yeah, anyway, it was like the first time I heard Max really like
Yeah.
just talk for hours. It was so sweet. Like I could have listened to him like the whole day as well. So
The thing is, what's the English word for it? Max is such a Tratstanden. Like, I love it.
yeah,
What's the English word? Is there an English?
I got like a gossiper or somebody that likes to
Yeah,
just
it's like a little gossip girl, but not about other people, just the things he laughs about, like laughs a
yeah,
lot, right? So he's just yeah, he's a little gossip queen,
yeah.
if you want to say it that put it that way. So yeah, that's pretty cute. And
Oh,
then
that's really sweet.
I'm also thinking like the more I watch everything, because I love Critical Role, and I
Mm-hmm.
love since I watched their animated show on Amazon Prime, like Vox Machina.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so in love with everything they do, and I started watching their normal D&D sessions on
Mm-hmm.
Twitch and YouTube. And it's just they're all actors or voice actors, and they're so good at role playing, right? And it's so amazing to watch them play, and I really enjoy that. And the more I watch it, the more I want to do it myself. And I've done 2 one shots now. First one was quite hard, like to get into everything, because you have zero idea of how it works, how interaction works, how around is based on what the around is based on, etc., right? Like you need to get used to it. Second one shot was already way easier for me, also because of the class I chose. The
Mm-hmm.
first class I had was a bit more, I wouldn't say complicated, but for role play it was.
Mm-hmm.
So the second one shot was very nice, and I felt more comfortable
Mm-hmm.
when playing, and also like playing in a role kinda, or playing another role. And yeah, I'm just so intrigued. Like I really want to do more of this because I enjoy the content. They, for example, produce so much, and what they do is just so cool. So yeah, we definitely have to work on a few projects this year for some D&D sessions. I would really
Mm.
enjoy that. No.
I'd be up for it 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So you're done with
And
your recap?
no.
I just wanted
Then
to
there
say
was
there's more. There's more.
Star Wars Celebration Weekend. I didn't watch that much. I just got the bits of Twitter, like the tweets and the trailers and everything. And we were on the terrace, like my mom, Max, and I. And then the Ahsoka trailer popped. Like they popped the Ahsoka
Oh yeah,
trailer,
I
and I
saw
was
that.
watching it. I was screaming and crying. Oh my god! Look at them! Look who's in there! And Max and my mom were like, "Yeah, just talk about it." And I was so hyped. So yeah, I just got like all the I saw the trailers and a few things and what they did on stage and all the cute things, but I sadly didn't get to like fully watch the streams. Let's see if I will rewatch some because they're like there's 3 days I think
I
of
mean,
full on content.
there's probably like huge like where they sum it up, you know, like recaps kind of things that you
Yeah.
can probably watch. So no.
So yeah, I was a bit sad because it was on Easter. Like they decided to do the whole event during Easter, so I had no time to like watch
Yeah,
it.
I mean, to be honest, it's a bit of a bad timing, right, to do that
Mm,
in the middle of a
yeah,
holiday like this. But yeah, I
yeah.
guess
And I
again, on
just
the other hand, a lot of people have like days off. So
true, yeah.
mm.
I just really want to go there one day to
Where is
one
it?
of the Star Wars. It was in England this year,
Ah, okay,
but
okay.
it's always different. So whenever it is in Europe again, if this ever happens again,
Mm.
then I really want to go there just to have the feeling. You know, there's
Yeah,
like thousands of Star Wars fans. You all share the same passion. It must be so cool to just be part of this. So I really want to go there.
oh yeah, for
And
sure.
then the last, not two more things. We watched the D&D movie last week. Last
Mm-hmm.
week was very fun. Was a cool movie. Obviously, there were a few like insiders, like D&D insiders. I didn't get first, but then always Max was like, "Yeah, this is that and that," and then I was like, "Oh, okay, that's so funny." So yeah, is a pretty cool movie, like entertainment, right?
Mm.
And the last thing Max told me when we were in Corinthia, he said something came how to say came up to his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say it like that?
Came to his mind, yeah.
Came to his mind when we were driving home, and
Okay.
he's kind of into or intrigued to get a dog. And he said this is very dangerous because now we're home with Emma and all the dogos around, right? He's like, yeah, I have to tell you something. Like, I'm kind of thinking about getting a dog. And
Oh
I was like,
hell yeah!
what?
Yes.
Yes. So very cool, right? I've been looking for or
The
looking
Pomeranians,
around
right? Yeah, right.
in general. It's not
Mm.
we won't get one of those. Like
Mm.
for now they're even too small for me. They're
Okay.
cute to look at, but yeah. But I've been looking out for whatever dog or in general just dogs for like 3 years now. I think since the pandemic started, I've been
Mm.
having this feeling of I really want a companion
Mm.
that walks with us through our lives
Mhm.
together. So yeah, Max is now kind of intrigued us all. So let's see.
Nice. Oh my god, a doggo. You need to tell
Hmm.
me. And if you get one, you need to work with Sabrina. Like I
Yeah,
swear, it's gonna make everything so much easier.
yeah,
Like I mean, you saw with Jinx. Like Jinx is
yeah.
such a fucking relaxed dog, thanks to it. Like the work and yeah.
The foe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all the news I have.
Nice. Yeah, for us, talking about Sabrina and everybody, we had
Hmm.
a really nice meeting on Friday, also Karfreitag. I don't know what's the
Hmm.
English word of it. So it's like the last day of fasting in like the Catholic Church thingy where you don't
Hmm.
eat no meat
The
at
flash
all on this
almost.
day. Yeah, Karfreitag. Samstag is
Also,
Flashwear. So Friday is always the day where even if you don't fast the 40 days of meat, this is the one day you're not allowed to eat meat in
yeah,
the Catholic
yeah.
Church. That's when you eat like spinach, potatoes, and eggs.
Yeah.
Usually. So and We got actually invited. I think I told it the week before, 2 weeks ago, when we had our barbecue and we had like our new friends over. You know, when I told you like my physiotherapist, I get along really well, and his girlfriend is actually starting to potentially also want to become a dog trainer like Sabrina, and they're like doing a lot of stuff together. They're really good friends. So like this couple kind of became like a new prominent part of our friend circle, like that we have here. So, and they invited me over for Friday, even though Nathan was not here, and we had like a big like dogo feast, and we had not, we didn't eat the dogos, but we had dogos with us during feasting, and they made like, oh, it was so good, like a huge lasagna, and they were like, just so you know, we're gonna put meat in the lasagna, hope you don't mind. We were like, holy shit, we don't care about religion, let's just eat the lasagna. Oh my god, it was so nice. They just built a house, like a very pretty nice house with a big garden. We had like Hank there, so Sabrina's dog. Then I took only Jinx. I let Mira at home, so Mira was happy that she had some hours off. Jinx, you know, the crazy one. So I took Jinx with me, and then Rudi was there, the little poodle of Katy. I don't know if you know. So obviously the owners were there, Sabrina and James, Katy and Stefan, her boyfriend, and Rudi, Hank, me and Jinx, and then Wolfie the physio, and his girlfriend Miriam, which is also confusing. I realized only after I was gone, because I called Mira, my dog, Miri. Right? I call her Miri. And when they were here, I forgot I was always calling Miri.
And she thought you were like calling her.
I could just see her like out of the corner of my eyes, and I was like, oh, what? So it was actually really funny. But she's really nice. I really liked it too. So we had a great day. They're also like, she made like little Reinlings, so it's like the Easter cake that we make here in Austria, and she made like little Reinlings and put it like in a little Easter packaging for us, and it was just so wholesome to be there. I really, really liked them. And afterwards, no, not afterwards, the day before, and then I went to the gym again, obviously this whole week with Verena. Had a good time at the gym, getting strong again. Then what else? No, oh yeah, I don't know if you remember, but I got some cute stuff in Japan. Under other things, also this little tempura shrimp, and I realized that he fits exactly in a small spot here next to my microphone. So I now have a shrimp mic. And he has been here for like a week or two, and I really like it. It really, like, I love this microphone anyway, but I don't know, I felt like that was the one missing piece on my stream because I was sometimes thinking about like hanging like a charm on it, but like nothing like felt cute, and now I have my little like tempura shrimp sitting here. Perfect. And now it feels like this was the missing piece of my stream. And everything is perfect. So shrimp mic, Steffi was here, as she already said earlier, so we had a great evening yesterday. I'm in my promos to silver. So today I'm gonna get silver, manifesting it right now, putting it out there in the universe. I also had my first art stream last week, which was really successful, and I really enjoyed. I said it already in the last podcast that I do a lot of art, or like even 2 weeks ago, I don't remember. And I finally got the courage up to actually paint in front of people on stream.
And it looked amazing. I saw the results then, and I loved like the one with the flowers.
Yeah.
The little one
like that
you
one
did.
as well.
They look so great.
Oh, thank you.
I love it.
If I ever won anything, I would love to paint something for you. If I get better, like I
with lavender.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah,
I would love to have like lavender.
Okay, so I'm gonna try. I want to make a painting stream this week again, so I'm gonna practice some lavender, and then once I'm like happy with the way I paint, I'm gonna get like a little canvas and paint one for you. Or if you want, I can put it in paper and you can frame it, whatever you prefer. But yeah, that's nice. I would love that. Then my first painting I'm gonna give to somebody is gonna be to Steffi. That I'm gonna do. Then this weekend I'm not gonna stream Saturday, Sunday because I am at the dog seminar. So Sabrina and Sabrina works for the Hundefloh. So if you're from Austria, Germany, you know a little bit about dogs. It's like a franchise of dog trainers, and the head of it is Flo, the Hundefloh. He's one of the most known dog trainers in Europe. Very, 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 very good guy. Also really intimidating because
Okay.
he's like that not only famous but good with dogs. And you know,
Yeah.
like people that are good with dogs are most of the time really special people personality wise. So I don't know, just from what I saw, like he's obviously like super confident and stuff. And like I'm so afraid, I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna go there and Jinx is gonna be crazy. You know, but it's like a seminar that is made to teach you something about your dog.
Yeah.
So the seminar in the weekend is a anti-hunting seminar. So it's basically for dogs that have like a hunting instinct, how to get them to not chase squirrels or bunnies or birds, or to get them out of the state of like, oh, I need to go chase and hunt and whatever. And it's super cool. It's a little bit pricey, but basically I think we're 10 people, so 10 human dog pairs, and he's gonna take time to assess like every person and their dog and see, okay, which issues are there, what can be worked on, which tips he can give you and stuff like that. So thanks to Sabrina, I got in there into that seminar. So I'm like super nervous, but I'm also super excited. So Mira doesn't really have the issues at all, or issues, like she doesn't really have the hunting urge or something. Since Jinx is out of the working line golden retrievers, so she is actually bred to be hunting birds. So and she's still really young. Sabrina said it would be probably really, really good to do that seminar with her, even though if it's not like something super, super urgent, but to work on something like that early on can be like a huge benefit, right? And also even strengthen the bond between you and your dog. So we're gonna do this weekend, so there's gonna be no stream Saturday, Sunday. And yeah, beside of that, Nathan sadly lost in the RMR, so the qualifier for the major. And what we didn't know, like he just learned about that I think 1 or 2 days before, that there is some last chance qualifier for the seminar. So now it was like 16 teams and like 8 teams went further. Sadly they didn't qualify, and now it's like 6 teams that are left from 2 different qualifiers, that like the 6 teams that almost made it. There's a last chance qualifier where out of 6 teams, 1 goes through, and that is the upcoming weekend. And it's also the again in Denmark. So Nathan would have came home today, but because of that, he would have came home, stayed 48 hours at home, and then had to travel, back and forth. And, so we were like, you know what, that is probably way too much stress for that little time that you could spend home, even though he would like to be home with me and I would like to have him home. Obviously, it's just way less stress for all parties. Also for the dogs, they're going to be confused. It's like, oh, he's back, and then, oh, no, he's gone again. So we were like, yeah, whatever. Just stay that week longer, and then once you're back, it's fine. So yeah, but then next week, hopefully Nathan is gonna be back and might even have qualified for the major. So
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. He got this. We believe. So we're gonna go into the listen of the week, and then we're gonna go into explaining the 5 love languages and why you might feel unloved, even though the people around you try to give you all the love you deserve, and you don't even notice it.
Yes. Listener of the week this week, guys, is Stony, aka Der Kalte Stein on YouTube. Under episode 64, Gaming as a Hobby, The Benefits of Gaming. And Stony said, Steffi, the person who demanded an in-game chat in Fall Guys so she can flame people. That was 3 years ago when I first played Fall Guys. And I was so mad. And I couldn't scream at anyone. I couldn't type in chat. So I was searching it. Like I was typing enter and I was searching fucking all chat, but there's none, right?
You know what's the funny thing about that? Actually, that one time I was actually in chat, and I think we should actually insert the clip into the podcast. Again, you can watch the podcast on Spotify and YouTube by now with video. So please do us a favor and enjoy this clip.
I'm molding. I'm out. I'm out! Where's the object? I'm at high priority. I'm at every single one in this game of my team because they basically like hit 3 goals for them because they fucking thought they have to throw. How can you be so retarded? Okay, let's go next round.
So I hope you enjoyed this clip, guys. I can clearly remember I was actually exactly in her chat. Like, I don't often get to watch Steffi's stream just from timings. It just doesn't fit that often. But I remember that time I was there, and I don't know if you can see the chat in the clip. I'm gonna have to check out.
I'm not sure.
I think it was like in chat. I was like, of course, Steffi is so fucking toxic again. The one game, you know, that is literally designed for children, more or less, or like people to have fun and stuff like that. And then Steffi goes there. How can I flame this fucking idiot? Where's the alt chat? So that was actually pure comedy gold.
I'm trying to find it on Twitch, so if I can see the chat, you know,
I need to check because I'm pretty sure I was there in person.
Where's the alt chat? I found it. I need to check if like what people.
I'm pretty sure I was there. Like that is like or maybe I just watched the clip.
Oh, look what it says. This clip's past broadcast has expired and chat replay is no longer available.
What
the fuck? I mean, the clips are all there on Twitch, but the chat logs are not like saved.
Oh, that's sad. I thought they saved like the chat logs with the video. My bad.
Satch. Okay.
But anyway,
clip then, guys.
that was like, this is like Steffi in a nutshell. It's like the perfect display of Steffi in video games. If you ever want to see like the raw Steffi.
I should stay on Warzone actually, like, because there is an alt chat at least when you're in the plane. You can flame people and then you start the game. See, the thing is, I think about this so often. Like, there's no part in my life or of my life where insulting anyone or like being disrespectful unless you're disrespectful towards me, right? But gaming is my one safe space where I just let it all out.
Safe space, by the way.
This is like I'm unleashing my demons in video games.
Oh, I forgot to show something, by the way. Because Steffi was here and she gave me my Christmas present. Look, I got a little dumpling and it has a little bear sitting on it, and you can also like light it up. But it's so fucking cute. And the best thing about it, it's fucking squishy. The parts. I fucking love it. It's so cute. But yeah, so
happy you like it.
Thank you so much. I love it. Like it's sitting here on my table and I am looking at it all the time. So anyway, from updates to Steffi raging in video games that don't have all chat so she can be mean to her in-game teammates, to something that might actually change your life. Hopefully it does, because I know I can say for me, first of all, it saved my relationship, and also a lot of relationships with friends and family that just opened my eyes really clearly. So I'm just gonna go into explaining the principle. I sadly it was Gary Chapman, I think, is the author of the book The 5 Love Languages. He wrote it. He's a therapist, a couples therapist that worked for I don't know how many years in couples therapy, and after observing so many partners and couples, he started seeing a pattern, and he was able to categorize 5 different love languages that people operate in: understand, speak, receive, and send love out to other people. And he realized that a lot of people just think, or they love each other just in different ways, and they don't understand it. So he created this this principle of the 5 love languages and explains in a very simple way that I think everybody can explain why we sometimes feel unloved even though our partner, friends, or family loves us just as much as we do. Okay, so to explain the whole thing, the way it starts is that you have to imagine every human. Imagine yourself running around with a tank. Okay, so have a tank that always should be full with love. So let's imagine it like a backpack or something like that, or a tank that you carry around, or your heart, or however you want to imagine it. So your happiness is often depending on how loved you feel. That can be through, again, friends, family, work colleagues, if you feel appreciated, whatever it is. And the emptier your tank gets, the unhappier you get. And once this tank is really, really empty and you feel unloved, that's when relationships start to struggle really, really bad. How can you fill this tank up? You can fill this tank up through people giving you love in the love languages, in the love language that you understand. And if you don't receive the love in the way that you understand it, your tank will be empty, right? So if I show you love in a way that you don't understand it, it doesn't fill up your tank, right? And then you're gonna run on empty. Imagine it like you're running on gasoline and I try to fill it up with diesel. Your motor is not gonna work, right? That is like roughly the principle on how it works. And so yeah, there's 5 different ways. The way you learn your love language is the way you grow up. So it's depending how you learn it through your parents. That's why most of the time it's the case that people have around 1 to 2 love languages that they speak, which they got taught like this from their parents. There's also people that grow up with a family that is aware. It doesn't matter if it is through the principles of the 5 love languages or just some kind of social intelligence, however you want to see it, right? Again, like it can be communicated in different ways, right? So there's just people that automatically understand, but most people don't. So I'm just gonna count the 5 love languages that are out there, and then I'm gonna go explain them. So the first love language is words of affirmation. What is just short? What is words of affirmation? Is telling people that you love them. Right? Physical touch. So that can not only be sexual, that can be hugs, that can be just a hand on the shoulder of somebody, petting somebody on the head, giving somebody a hug, kissing, whatever it is, right? Then there is the third one, which is receiving gifts. So that doesn't mean you're getting like, I don't know, a car gifted every week by your partner, or like a ring or jewelry or whatever it is. It can also be, hey, I just went to the grocery store. I know your favorite candy bar is a Twix, so I brought you one. That can be receiving gifts as well. Number 4 is quality time. So that is spending quality time, uninterrupted quality time with your significant other or with friend, family, whatever it is. So you are not on your phone while you're talking with them. You exclusively spend time, full attention towards that one person. And the 5th one is acts of service. So you do something for your partner to show your love. So that can be everything from helping them with chores, let's say bringing out the trash, or I know that Steffi is tired, so instead of talking with her about it, I make her a cup of coffee, and that's my way of showing her love. Maybe from just listening to this, you can already like see which one you have, or maybe which ones your partners have. So I'm gonna take as an example the relationship of Nathan and me, and how our relationship used to be really dysfunctional because of the ways that we were not speaking the same languages. Also, what has to be said, it doesn't matter what your love language is, you can learn to speak each of the 5 languages, and you can also learn to understand all 5 of the languages. And I'm going to explain at our example of our relationship how it fixed and helped with mine. So to explain, first of all, you can make a test if you're not 100% sure what your love language is. There's a free test online. We're going to link it down in the description of this episode on YouTube. if you want to click it and do it, pause it now, do the test, and then see what your love language is. For example, how it works in our relationship. My love languages are, first of all, words of affirmation. So for me, it's important that people tell me that they appreciate me, that they love me, that they think it's great what I do, that they think I'm beautiful, whatever it is. And the second, my secondary love language is physical touch. So for me, being hugged, being cuddled, being intimate with my partner is something that's super, super important for me to feel like I'm being loved. So now, let's talk about Nathan's love languages, right? So Nathan's love language is quality time. So actually that's secondary, but like spending undivided attention, quality time with me. So for example, if we're like watching a YouTube video or something like that, which I sometimes didn't understand, if I would just pick up my phone and check because Steffi wrote me, that would trigger him. That would make him like really upset because that would be our time. And, you know, I divided the attention because I picked up my phone, which I didn't really understand. But for example, that's his thing with quality time. So now that I learned that, I don't pick up my phone anymore when we're hanging out. Or unless I know it's something important.
Barely, yeah.
And the second one, and probably the number one love language of Nathan is acts of service. So Nathan is a person, he doesn't really say that he loves you, but he does a lot of things for you to feel loved. So what does he do? He knows when I have like a stressful day and I probably won't have enough time to take the dogs, he will take the dogs alone. Or if he knows we need to do groceries, but I won't have the time, he goes and does the groceries for me. He brings out the trash, he empties the dishwasher. You know, he does things to make my life more comfortable. That is his way of showing love primarily. So for me, those kind of things, acts of service, was something, I don't know, that was not considered the bare minimum, but something normal. Like I never looked at that as showing love to somebody. And the way that I learned about all of this, I went actually to, as you know, I go to therapy, right? And my psychiatrist or my therapist, she actually recommended reading that book to me because she said, I think that because I was talking about my relationship and stuff and that I feel unloved because on top of that, Nathan has autism. So physical touch for him is something hard to do. And words of affirmation as well, like telling you to the face, you know, like a super romantic thing is something that is not the number one thing for him. That's on his mind. So she's like, yeah, it sounds like you both really love each other, but you just speak the wrong language. And I was like, what the fuck is she talking about? She's like, here, take this book, read it. It's really thin. Like if you want to, I can really recommend, again, also, even if you understand the principle through this podcast, to still read the book because it goes really into detail. Again, it's a fast read. It's a simple read. Really, really can recommend it. If you don't want to read, just get yourself Audible for a test month, download it for free and listen to it. It's really, really good. So anyway, she's like, listen to this and you're going to see and understand. So I read the book, and in the book, it tells you, once you realize what your own love language is and the one of your partner, like usually you will, through understanding what the love languages are, you will kind of get a hint of like, okay, yeah, my partner might, actually he does a lot of things for me. So I think his is like acts of service. If you're not sure, you can always just send him a link and be like, hey, can you take this 5 minutes, take the test and just tell me what your result is? You know, you don't really have to talk about that. And at this time, I felt really unloved because Nathan is not a person who just comes up to you and just gives you a tight hug or tells you 3 times a day that he's proud of you and that he loves you. You know what I mean? So my tank was running empty a lot. And then she was like, you know what? I asked Nathan to take the test. The test came out. He showed it to me. It was acts of service and quality time. So I was like, okay. So I started learning about quality time and acts of service. And then my therapist was, you know what you need to do? You need to start learning his languages in order to feel loved. And then I started journaling. Like in my journal, I wrote down every single day everything that Nathan did in his own love language
Mm-hmm.
to show me that he loves me. So I started writing down, oh, he brought out the trash today. He emptied the dishwasher. He took the dogs without me. He did groceries. He realized I had no time, or I was stressed and I was like, oh, I don't know what to cook. And then he just said, like, you know what, let's just order food. I order it and then I bring it down to you while you're streaming, those kind of things. And I started writing it down, and I realized that he was doing I think it was between 5 and 12 things every single day in his love language to show me that he loves me. But I didn't see that because I didn't know the way it works, right? So it took a while, right, for me to be like, yeah, okay, but what does it have to do if he fucking empties the dishwasher with, like, he still doesn't tell me that he loves me as often as I would like it, right? But so it took like a week or two till I was understanding, like, the way he was trying to show me how much he loves me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just completely undermined it. I was like, dude, that is like the same as me hugging him doesn't mean anything for him. Like, the way I grew up, for me, I still do those things, like I clean the house, I take care of the animals, I do stuff for him, I organize stuff. So the way I live without knowing, I still show him the love that he wants automatically without really knowing it. But it's nothing like important for me. So, and I also learned about acts of service, like quality time, and that's when I started like putting away my phone and not like being more present when he tells me things, and really starting to be a better listener. And I also realized when I started showing him the way he receives love or speaks and receives love in a better way, how much happier he got in a relationship as well. And I made him read the book as well, and he realized how important it is for me as well to, on top of that, giving the hugs or hearing, like, again, we do it more through writing than actually like words, but words of affirmation also work in a written way, and that like helped us so much in our relationship. And I saw it the same in for example with my parents. Like, my dad is also not a person of big words, but my dad is also acts of service. Like, I know I can call my dad at 3 a.m. and he will pick me up wherever and drive me for 5 hours if I want to, if I need help in the garden or whatever it is. Like, he will be there and he will do whatever I need, and that's his way of showing love. And I think once you realize that there's just different ways of showing love, and you learn to read and understand what other people are doing for you, then you will start filling your tank also with new languages. And ever since that, it's like, scales falling from your eyes, or like you were blind your whole life and you thought you were unloved and nobody cares and nobody loves you, and then you understand you just didn't understand it. That was such a huge life change for me. So I hope that can help a few people. So Steffi, how is it in your relationship? Like, you took the test as well, right?
I did the test today. I never did it before. I knew already that the one that is on top of my results was one of my love languages, but I got a little confused when I did the test, and I asked Julia then, because there's sometimes it gives you the question and then there's both answers like fitting for you, and Julia said just pick the one you're feeling more, because it starts like comparing them over and over again, and you get the question again, and then you might choose the second one over the other one. So I did that, and my results it's a bit more like divided through all of them, and my main love language is acts of service as well, with 33%. After that comes quality time with 23%, and then both with 20% words of affirmation and physical touch. And the last thing, like receiving gifts, is like not that important.
So it's only 3% for you. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I knew acts of service is something I really appreciate, because how often did I say,
you complain about the cleaning?
Vacuums, if Max just takes like the vacuum and does it without like me saying anything, you just make me the happiest person, right? Like these small things, or he knows Mondays we're recording the podcast, might stream afterwards, he's doing the groceries, all these things, or the laundry, whatever it is. So I knew that was my like biggest or most important love language.
Mm.
And the other three, I would say like quality time is a bit of how to say I I enjoy and I want quality time with Max as well. But sometimes, and what I did was picking up the phone too.
Mm.
And Max, that was something that hurt Max when we were
Mm.
spending time together. So what I realized as well is that he, or actually I kind of knew it, but now after you explained everything, it just gave me the reminder again, or the whatever you want to
The
call it, that
reinforced yeah.
that he's very like, this is very important to him when we spend quality time, that I'm not on my fucking phone, that
Mm.
I just give him my full attention. And the second one, what I know for sure, is kind of physical touch, because I told you earlier today, but it was off stream, off podcast,
Mhm.
that sometimes when Mux and I, for example, just meet in the afternoon after he woke up, and for example, again, podcast Monday, we record, we do all the stuff, and then at some point we meet in the kitchen again after the podcast because Max and I grab some coffee. He's just standing there and says, something is weird today. Did I get a hug and a kiss already from you today? So I know, and I'm not thinking about these things, right? And then I sometimes feel egoistic
Mm.
about this, because I I don't think about it that he needs that, or that is his love language. So physical touch and quality time is very important to him, and
Mm.
acts of service is something that is very important to me. And we both kind of like didn't know or didn't understand each other, like as you did or had in the beginning. And I want to make, what are you typing here, guys? I know what I know. Who knows
No, no,
what?
no, no. He wrote cringe morning hugs, and I wrote your cringe fudge.
Why are morning hugs cringe? Max
No,
being
no, it's
cringe,
fine.
cute, missing morning hugs. You're cringe. The fuck? Okay, so yeah. I know about his love language, but I definitely want him to take the test as well,
Mm.
because he never did that before.
Mhm.
So I want to do it just to see the results, like
Yeah,
what
of
he
course.
really is. And that was kind of like, because I want acts of service. He wants the physical touch. I barely think of
Can be a
that.
good
Physical
trait, you know.
touch. Yeah, I know. We talked about it. Like, just swap and everything's fine. So I barely ever think of these things like that. When I pass him, I just hug him or I give him a kiss, because that's not my most important love
Mm.
language. But for him it is. So I just need to, for myself, because it's important to me, right, that he feels loved as well. And
Mm.
I have to admit, like, I barely ever thought of that. Like
But
I
think
didn't.
about, it's like the same as you, like as you said before, like I don't want to sound like a fucking couples therapist here, but
Yeah.
think about, like you said, if he would just, I don't know, vacuum without me having to remind him of that. Imagine how happy it would make Max if he doesn't have to do like the cute,
Yeah.
oh, you forgot to, I didn't got a kiss and a hug this morning. Do you
Yeah.
think, imagine how great it must be for him if he just stands in the kitchen, does his fucking coffee, and you come from behind and give him like a tight
Yeah.
squeeze hug and like a kiss on the cheek or something like that. That must be like the same satisfaction for him
Mhm.
as it is for you if he does that kind of stuff. And I think that's
Yeah.
like the good thing as well. Like once you realize, you
Yeah.
can be more aware. And I think like obviously like sometimes your partner will be like, oh yeah, that's like fucking hocus pocus, cringe fucking psychotherapy stuff. I don't want to read that book. I don't believe in the five love, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
But just have it. If you have a partner, you can talk openly about that kind of stuff and be like, hey, this is the way that it works for me. It's the way it works for you. And then have a conversation. Okay, so I know for you, physical touch, what is
Yeah.
it that would make you feel more loved based
Yeah.
on this, you know? And
You see that?
And and then you can make trades. Or for
Yeah.
Nathan, for example, like I can go to Nathan and be like, hey, like, and it's normal, as you said, like sometimes you need those reminders. Sometimes you're aware exactly of what your partner needs, but sometimes life just gets so busy that you forgot to focus on that. And then I think it's also important that as a person, when you're like, okay, I feel like my tank is getting low, that you don't let it hit rock bottom and be like, oh, I feel so unloved, I'm desperate to get anything, that you don't let it get that far and be like, hey, like, listen, my tank is getting low, I would really need, like, I don't know, some quality time this evening, or I would love for us to watch a movie and maybe just cuddle a little bit extra. Or like for you, like, I'm so fucking stressed and I would love you to help me today with if you could do those and those chores. And we talked about that before. Like, relationships are really rarely all the time 50-50. Like, it's normal to be like a 70-30 for this person, and then like a month later it flips on the other way, And I think just being aware, having the good I can't talk and having the good communication in a relationship, to being aware, like, what is it that I need? What is it that my partner needs? To be able to communicate when there's something missing before it escalates as well. Like, those are the things that, in my opinion, make a relationship work and grow. Because those are the things where you start having to work, maybe even like jump over your own pride, or however you want to call it, and like admit maybe that you've been bad with communicating in the past, or letting it go too far, whatever it is. But that is where it gets really worth, like, to work on relationships. Like, I'm thinking, I don't even remember when I read the book. Has it been like 3 or 4 years? I'm pretty sure it was before
it must
the
be 3 years.
pandemic. I think it was like before the pandemic that I read it. I'm not sure.
It was definitely like, we were talking about the 5 love languages in the very early states of derps and burps as well. I remember that. So, but must be like during pandemic or before.
Short before or something. I don't know. I think like 3 or 4 years ago I read the book, and I'm like, that is probably one of the 3 most important things and books that I learned and read in my life. And again, like, I think the cool thing about it is as well to not only, like, I think probably the most important thing obviously is to have this knowledge in a relationship. If you are not one of those natural persons that is just like really, I mean, for you, if you look at yours, like, you're really balanced when it comes to your love languages, like, so you have a little bit of everything. The only thing that would be kind of hard is if you would have a partner where gifts would be like the most important thing, right? Because that is something that is not the most important thing. But if you think about it, like, we have people like this in our friend circle as well that are really bad at communicating, and like being like telling you that they like them, or physically like hugging or anything, or and that are like, hey, but I know that you like this, so I bought this for you because it reminded me of you, or whatever it is, like those kind of things. So it can also be really helpful, I think, especially in family, and especially like for me, I can only talk about like the relationship that I have with my parents, for example. Sometimes not understanding why I feel like that maybe one of my parent is not loving, on a quotation mark, me as much as I wish it would, because like most of the time you have a primary caregiver. So for me, for example, it was my mother, right? My parents got divorced when I was 11. So you probably go a little bit more towards the direction of your mom, right? So like, you understand how my mom was always a really affectionate person when it comes to physical. Like, my mom was a big hugger and cuddler, and like, come in, we got this. And like, when you were crying, she would like hug you and that kind of stuff. And she would always like talk about things and be really vocal about how important you are towards her, which was the exact opposite of my dad, right? So that makes a lot of sense in that case for my relationship with my dad. So it opened my eyes completely. Like, I was like, okay, yeah, my dad doesn't tell me that he loves me. My dad doesn't like hugs or obviously, like, I'm a 33-year-old woman. I'm not really like cuddling on the couch with my dad or anything anymore. So like, oh yeah, where will I get the sense of that my dad loves me? You know what I mean? So then realizing that, and the acts of service that he does, then I was like, holy shit, dude, my dad did a fucking shit ton. And even if you don't see it straight, just make a list and write things down. Like, you will realize how important it is, and maybe even realize, and I think my dad is actually quality time as well, because now that I think about it, my dad also gets really irritated. Let's say he invites me over for dinner or whatever, and you can just see that if you're split your attention, like if you're on your phone a lot, or he just notices that you're not fully like listening or whatever, or enjoying the experience, that's when he gets upset. Like, not in the sense of upset like, oh yeah, he gets angry or something, but you can feel that he's disappointed that you're not cherishing the moment the way that he would like you to. So and then once you realize, you're like, refocus on it, and then it gets better, right? But those kind of things are really, really like eye-opening for me. And again, like, I read it 4 years ago. I still need those reminders, like, every now and then. Like, everyone, I need to remind myself. And again, like, whenever you feel unloved, make those lists, and just for a day, like, write down, what was it yesterday that he did for me? And sometimes even the other way around, like, if you feel like your relationship is not going good, try to write down what are the things you did for your partner in his love language, because you can shower him in your love language. If that's not his primary one, it might not fill his tank the way you want it. Like, you can be like, I don't know why he doesn't feel loved. Like, I do everything for that person. You know what I mean? Like, that also just, you know, opened my eyes a lot as well, because I had people that were like, oh yeah, I don't feel like you love me anymore. Like, those kind of things. How often do we hear that? Like, that you hear somebody say about their partner, I feel like they don't love me anymore. And and like, it's normal. Like, if you're fresh in a relationship, you just do everything, you know, you shower a person with attention, like, and every way, you know. So you're at your best behavior, you do absolutely everything to go and beyond to make that person happy. But as soon as you get into like your daily life, and like, you're being stressed, you don't have the time, like the pink glasses are gone, that's when like the real work goes in. That's when like the real love starts, when you're not when you're not in love, but you love somebody. That's when it really shows, you know,
when the swooning time's over and the actual
exactly. And like, those things with, I feel like you don't love me anymore, doesn't mean that the person doesn't love you anymore. They just show it maybe in the way that you don't understand it. And how often does it happen? Like, think about it. Like, in the past, that we have many friends, right? We have many friends in many relationships where you maybe know both parties, right? And you see the one person being like, oh yeah, I feel like he doesn't love me anymore. And then you as a outstander be like, yeah, but he does this and this and this for you. Like, how are you not feeling loved? You know what I mean? Or like, don't you see? Like, sometimes you even need other people to point it out for you. But once you have the knowledge, you can be that person for you. You just need to sit down and reevaluate and like think about what. Okay, let's see what is like. Put out your notepad and start writing it down. You know what I mean? Like, be a little scientist about it, if you will. Like, honestly, that is what helps me the most when it comes to those kind of times. And also, not to be selfish and be always like, yeah, but my tank isn't full. Like, and you know how humans are as well. Like, sorry to interrupt you. When you feel like, oh yeah, I'm not being treated that well, we sometimes tend to this thing, if I'm not getting what I want, I'm not gonna give you what you want either. Like, you're gonna suffer the same way as I do. And then you just drain each other from happiness, basically, which is fucking stupid. And instead of doing that, one thing that's also part of the book is showering the person you love with more love that they need in their language without expecting anything back and then seeing
In
what
return,
happens.
Mm.
Because for us, the way our nature works sometimes, it's that, as I just said, like you just pull back, like you drain everything from them because you hope that they will realize how miserable it feels, and then they will start showering with you love. You will love again. But it's the exact opposite. You should start showering as soon as you feel unloved. Shower the person that you love with love, and see what happens. That is actually crazy. Like there's literally an experiment in there, in the book as well, that says like, yeah, if your partner is not interested in reading this, try this. Like I don't know if you want to call it manipulation, if you will. Probably
positive
some
manipulation, though.
Exactly. So yeah, that is also something that's really that I tried with Nathan. Like just showering, I showered him in love like crazy in the way. And you know what he did? He was like, is there something up? Did I do something wrong? And I'm like, no, why would I don't know, I just feel like something's weird at the moment. And then he started, like, even though that's not really his main love language, but I just noticed because he always does like the groceries, and he does like all of those kind of things. But what he really started doing, he started bringing me things from grocery stores or something. He was like, oh yeah, I brought you this. And when we ordered food, oh yeah, I ordered you this extra because I thought you might like it, and then I was like, we're in. So it's actually really, really funny how that works.
Yeah, and for me, the biggest or the hardest part, obviously, then is to work on these things, right? Because that's what I wanted to say earlier. I just forgot. With me having quality time a second is a little bit contradictive, because what I do or what I did in the beginning, or in the beginning, was picking up my phone as well. And there's nothing I, for example, dislike more than when we on Thursdays sit together here and watch Germany's Next Top Model, and as soon as the ads hit, people pick up their phones instead of like talking to each other. So at some point, like on the one hand, it's very important to me, like quality time is very important to me, but on the other hand, I did the same shit when I was with Max, and that was is very selfish of me, because I know his quality time is, and my quality time, both our love language is kind of quality time, and I know it means more to him than it does to me, and yet I still like picked up my phone sometimes. So, and that's the things, and we were like arguing about these things as well sometimes, that it annoyed him or it bothered him a lot when I did that, especially in the very early beginnings of my like streaming start. I did that very, very often. Even when we were like sitting together and had food together, he always wants to watch something together.
Same, we do the same with Nathan.
But I don't like watching something while eating.
Can I ask you something? If Max does the same, so we do the same. Like we used to. So what we do when we have dinner together, Nathan picks out a video. I pick out a video. Like if I'm cooking, he picks out the video. We put everything in there, and now we have like the habit that before we start watching, we start eating. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna check quick. I go 30 seconds on my phone. I see if there's anything important I need to answer,
and then
I put it away, and I turn it around, and I'm not even getting tempted, and then I don't pick it up. In the past, I would like, especially like with my ADHD as well, like I don't want to take it as an excuse or something, but if it's a video that doesn't like instantly gets me, maybe it's something that really Nathan wants to watch that I might not be as interesting, like I would be like, oh yeah, Steffi wrote me, so I'm just gonna, I'm still gonna be watching, I'm just gonna do this. And Nathan, like, he would just like, at one point he would get pissed and he would just pause the video while I would be like, and he's like, you done? And I'm like, oh, you can let it run. He's like, I mean, we don't have to watch this. And then he would just close the laptop and walk away. And then we'd be like, fuck, I fucked up.
I'm the same bitch. Like, but then again, that's so contradictive about me with the quality time. But then again, I would do what you do as well, right? So, and it's so dumb of me. And I really want to work on that. And I started working on this because what we did, like, for example, when something funny on stream happened, I'm always like, okay, Max, come here. I need to show you something. That was so funny today. Or look, I killed 3 people in Apex today. Like, I wiped the whole squad. And then I can't find the clip immediately or the the point where that
Yeah.
happened in the stream, the time. So he's just with me, standing here, very patiently waiting until I find the like right moment to show him. And whenever like he wants to show me something of, for example, World of Warcraft, and I admit that I'm very selfish when it comes to these things. If that doesn't interest me, I cannot show you that I'm interested in it. And
Yeah.
it's very hard for me, like very, very hard for me to show interest in these things. That is very selfish, and I know
It's
that.
funny. I'm the
But
same with
and
Nathan.
then
But I
listen, and
learned
then
you can.
yes, yes. And the thing is, he's always like picking the very perfect like clip already or very perfect moment so I don't have to stand there and wait like he
Aw.
has to. So he just shows me the important things that I see it immediately and like don't get disinterested in this. And that when you realize that the quality time and these things are like one of the most important things to him, and that I'm being so disrespectful towards it is
Mm.
something that hurts you, you know?
Yeah.
And I know that I'm selfish with this. And since Critical Role, I have to say, like, because in the beginning it didn't interest me a lot, right? But then like the more we did it, like with the one shots and everything, I got more interested in it. And whenever he told me a lot about like his D&D sessions in the beginning, I wasn't interested in it. I'm not part
Mm.
of the story, so I cannot really have the same empathy for it, or it didn't. I wasn't
The
able to.
connection. Yeah.
And now I'm getting better with this, or I got better with this. He always like it's almost like a meme to us as well when he comes back from the D&D session and says, "Yeah, but you want to hear this, right? Like what happened today?" And I was like, now I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I want to. Like tell me what happened."
Mm.
So it's very important to him, and I got better with it, I have to say, during Critical Role, because now we do these things together, watch these things together, right? Um, the rebroadcasts and everything, and I get more like interested in obviously the things he does as well. Like it's just with WoW, it's very hard for me,
Yeah.
right? Because I know it's like his whole lifetime. Like he spent his whole lifetime in this game, and I couldn't care less about the game. So I know it's very selfish,
But you
but
start
I
liking it for him then. Like you.
yes, exactly.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like.
I don't like him myself, but I know it means a lot to him. So it means a lot to me when he shows me
Mm.
these things. So I had to learn this the hard way because I'm a selfish bitch sometimes when it comes to these things. And I know that.
Mm.
And this is in general with people, like just I'm not interested in everything everyone does, right?
Of course. I mean,
So
it's hard.
yeah. And
The
I'm not
way.
really the social chit chatter. Like if I don't care about your day, I won't ask about it.
Yeah.
So, and I know that is very harsh or can come like off very disrespectful or whatever you want to say or call it. But that's just how I am. And
Mm.
especially with Max, obviously with your partner, I had to learn this, that with the love languages and everything, that this is very important to him. And I still sometimes forget about it because acts of service is mine. And I think quality time and physical touch. I let him do the test after this
You need to
podcast.
let us know next time. But
So,
yeah,
but
yeah, sorry.
um, I know it. I acknowledge it. I just need to remind myself
Mm.
more often because of the differences like we sometimes have with these things. And he's very important to me, so I want to give him the same feeling, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, like I had like I realized it luckily through the books. Like I learned about it as well because I was the same. I was like I used to be a really bad listener. I still am sometimes, but I really try to work on that. Especially like I know for me, again, like has something to do with ADHD, of course, as well. Like for me, while I listen, I'm already like making. You noticed it like when you just talked. I was like, oh yeah, I have something to add exactly to this, and then fuck.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I know that it's super disrespectful, but for me, in my mind, it is not like me wanting to disrespect and interrupt somebody and add something on it. For me, it's like my way of showing how excited I am about a topic that somebody talks about, and I had to learn that it's better to let people like just talk about that, and then just listen sometimes than just add stuff to it. And with Nathan, as you said, like there's so many things as well. Like he's interested in so many different things. And it's normal that there's things that you're not interested in that your partner is really interested in. So for example, Nathan has the things like he watches a lot of like the French YouTube scene is insane. Like they're making such high quality content. They have so many cool creative ideas. And Nathan is really sweet in like, he always tries to tell me like, oh yeah, there's this new trend on like the French Twitch, you could try this, or like look at this cool video. And they're talking obviously in French, and I don't understand most of it, because like if it's something like really quick or something, like I do speak a little bit of French, but with a lot of the context. And then he's like skipping through a video, and look at this and look at this and look at this. And sometimes I often was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, okay. And then I was like, oh yeah, but by the way, I wanted to tell you this. So I would never like want to let him finish. And then when I understood that whole thing, and that's like his way of being like, hey, I saw this and I think this could be cool for you. And even if it's something that wouldn't work for me, still just paying really full attention and letting him from start to finish. And then maybe if he shows that, to really not just like, oh yeah, he shows me a video and then in between I like check my phone 2 times and then be like, yeah, okay, but and then talk about something else. I would just let him do the whole thing, be really full attention there, what he says and what he does. And then at the end, try to actually be interested in it and ask like 1 or 2 questions about it. Yeah, okay, but wait, is that the same guys you showed me from the last video? Oh, and that's really cool. Do you know how they came up with it? Like, to like, even if it's just this small things, and it's maybe just like an extra 5 or 10 minutes that you spend out of your day, which is nothing. And it just like, I could literally see when I started doing those kind of things, how happy Nathan got. Yeah. And I could also see, because I'm the same as you, like I'm then like, oh Nathan, look, I did like the sick thing in CS, like, and then I would just send him the clip and be like, yeah, if you need a new entry figure on your team, that kind of things. And before when I would do that, because obviously I would cut him off with his things that he wants to show me, it would be exactly the same thing, as I said before. Like if you drain them of something, they're gonna try to drain you of something too. So before, when I wouldn't pay full attention to what he shows me and wants to share with me, he did the same for me. Probably not like intentionally in the way that we said, but you could notice that he was like, oh yeah, thanks, no, I think we're fine. You know what I mean? And now if I do those kind of things, I notice this. He like engages with it way more in a fun way. He would be like, oh yeah, I don't know, I mean, your USB skills are fine, but I think we're still gonna have to work a little bit on your off skills, then we might talk about it again. Those kind of things. Like, and those kind of things improve so fast. And if you can just see that, hey, if I just really be present, like even if it's something that you're not 100% interested in, if you just can give them the present of being present and focused on that one thing that is important for them, or funny, or cool for them in that moment, and you can share this specific moment with them, you're gonna make them so much happier. You're gonna be so much happier. Your whole relationship is gonna be happier. And even if it's like takes 5 to 10 minutes out of your day, like what the fuck does it matter? Like you can scroll on fucking Instagram, TikTok later that day for another hour. It doesn't run away. In the end, like you're not gonna remember 3 months ago what you wanted to check on your phone while Max was showing you something from World of Warcraft. But if Max was super happy for the rest of the day and then maybe helped in the kitchen with something like this, you're gonna remember that made his day. You know what I mean? But you're not gonna remember who wrote you a message on your phone in this one moment when you checked, So
exactly, setting
like priorities in a way like this, like, I don't know, I'm gonna be honest, I think relationships are, in general, when you have a certain knowledge, if you're really aware and you put effort in it from both sides. I think it's something so simple.
Yeah.
Like
It's
you just need
about
to be
doing it.
present. Yeah, you just need to be present and aware and respectful to each other and communicate what your needs are in a way that you're not putting blame on somebody to be like, you know, it's always like you can communicate things in different way. Like I could be aggressive and be like, you know what, my fucking love tank is empty as fuck because you don't show me the love that I need, and you better step the fuck up or I'm out of here. You know what I mean? Or if I'm gonna come to you and be like, you know what, I know we've both been really fucking busy and my tank is really empty and I would love to spend a quality time evening with you where we can watch a movie that you choose and we cuddle a little bit, we order food together and we just put our phones away and spend the evening together. You know what I mean? Like, how do you think, which evening first of all gonna get better? Which relationship is gonna improve? First one for sure. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much. Sometimes you just need to like get over your own fucking pride and stop pointing fingers on who faults it is and just start working on stuff. And then I think if both people are willing, you can turn a miserable relationship in something really beautiful. You just need two people that are willing to put in the work. Yeah. For sure.
Beautiful words.
Thank you. So yeah, I hope for everybody listening that if you haven't known about the 5 love languages, we can also put, by the way, I'm going to also put the Amazon link for the book in there or for the Audible link if you want to check it out. It will be in the description of the YouTube video. I hope that this is interesting for you, no matter if you're interested in psychology or whatever it is, if you're in a relationship or not. Like, I think, again, this skill set and knowledge can change somebody's complete life and relationship with a family member, friend, whatever it is. I hope this, and if this video just helped one single person, this is gonna be amazing. And maybe if you already knew about the 5 love languages and you just needed this one reminder to hug your partner, friend, or mom today a little bit extra tight, bring out the trash, bring them their favorite snack bar or Monster Energy TM from the supermarket, or maybe just compliment them on how sweet they look today. I appreciate you guys listening. So does Steffi for sure, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna go hug Max now.
Yeah, do it. Squeeze him real tight. Give him a smooch. And we will be back next week with a new Smash or Pass episode.
True,
right? Yeah,
this is correct. This is correct.
I remember. So yeah, next week we're gonna prepare. We're gonna do it differently this week. It's not gonna be Fudge that finds out the pictures for us and then we decide. What we're gonna do is we each gonna find, like, I don't know, around like 10 people, smash or pass, or doesn't have to be people, you know, whatever you want. 10 pictures, smash or pass. I'm going to choose some for Steffi. Steffi's going to choose some for me. And we know you love that format. So it will be back. Thank you for listening. We'll hear you again next week. Steffi, anything more you want to add?
If you did the test, guys, let us know if you want to share it with us. Let us know which love languages are yours. I would be interested
or
in
if
that.
you knew about it already or not. Yeah. Did it open your eyes? Did it help you in any way? Was it just a nice reminder? Let us know. We'd love to know. So thank you so much for listening as per usual, or watching, or both. We love you all. No alarm today in the episode, by the way.
No
alarm.
You're right.
Crazy. So guys, thank you so much. We see you again next week. Bye.